Good day to everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe because it helps with the YouTube algorithm. So, today we're going to talk about a subject that is extremely important because this channel is not just about political issues, although everything relates back to political issues and somewhere between this recording, I know I will touch on something political. So, assets and liabilities is one of my favorite subjects to speak about. And I always try my best to impart my knowledge on young people, especially. I mean, this is general information for everybody, but I try to impart this knowledge onto young people because the earlier they start understanding assets and liabilities, the better it is. So, let's get into it. First of all, assets are things that bring you money, and liabilities is simply something that costs you money. There are many things that could be assets, and there are many things that could be liabilities. And the funny thing about assets and liabilities is the same thing that could be an asset can also be a liability. And the same thing that is a liability could also be an asset. So, your car could be an asset, your house could be an asset, your phone could be an asset, your YouTube channel, your social media could be assets, but they could also be liabilities. If in case that we really want to make money, we cannot be thinking that we have to work for money. We have to allow money to work for us. And anytime money is not working for us, then we become a slave for money. So when I went to England, I went to England in February 2019 for a very, very sad event, one of the most saddest events of my life. My son, Glenn Jr., he passed away. So I had to go to England to deal with that situation. When I was there in England, I met with my son, Cairo, uncle, Sean Silcott. Sean Silcott, to date, is one of the wisest, smartest young men that I've ever met in my entire life. I've never met anybody like this guy. This guy, you know, he was extremely smart. And we discussed some business, and he told me his plans, and I just couldn't believe because I never even thought about these things that he was thinking about. Another sad event. When I came back to Montserrat a few weeks after, he also got sick and died. That's when my eyes really opened up and decided I have to do something for my children because at the end of the day, if I'm enjoying life, spending money on cars because I do love vehicles, spend money on cars, but I don't put something in place for my children, then I would be a failure. And I thought back about the conversation I had with him where he told me, real estate is the key. That's how you make money. Build buildings, buy buildings. Because he was buying buildings in England and renting them out. And I came back to Montserrat and I decided, when I learned that he passed away, I decided I have to do something for myself. So right away I put vehicles one side and started to concentrate on how could I get some assets so that assets can give me some passive income. So I decided to buy a piece of land. But I wanted a piece of land that was in the north area, not in the south area, Alveston area and so forth, Islesby area. That's not the kind of place I wanted. I wanted a place close to the airport, close to the town and so forth. I found a piece of land. The land was very expensive, but I decided that's the piece of land that I want. So I purchased the piece of land and I contacted my good friend Bevan Greenaway, one of the smartest men I know. Bevan Greenaway, he's extremely smart when it comes to everything. And I spoke to him. I told him I need to talk to him, and he came to my office and I told him my plans and so forth. And he told me it's a good idea. We started to build these buildings in Bazis. No, I'm not a contractor. I have no idea about construction and so forth. But I'm a very fast learner, and that is one of the things that people have to understand. You don't have to have papers in certain fields for you to actually become good at it. We started to build the place, and when we started to build the place, I started to learn extremely fast about buildings and how it works. And we had a lot of people hiring. We had a lot of people. We hire truckmen. We hire all kind of different people. And the management. I'm very good at management, and Bevan is very good at buildings. So me as a person who can manage, I actually managed the whole building. We never had any issues while we were building. Everything went good. To make a long story short, in a year time, I completed the entire project at Barzi's in Montreal, which is known now as Glen Villa. It has three buildings on the compound and it has four apartments. Now, right away, this piece of land become an asset. No matter how you put it, this piece of land become an asset. It cannot just be a liability. If in case I want to live in R4, that would be very stupid. But at the end of the day, the place became an asset. So realizing how it is to have assets that bring you money instead of liabilities that are taking money out your pocket, I decided that I have to impart some knowledge onto people, especially young people, because young people have a better chance of winning. Because if in case you start early, if you start early, the bank will give you a longer time period to pay the mortgage off. So I always encourage people when you're building, instead of building a traditional house where in accounting in school they will tell you that when you have a house, the house is an asset. But that is not true. If in case you have a house and you owe the bank, the only asset is towards the bank because the bank is receiving interest. So the bank is the one who have the house that you think is an asset, being that the house is an asset for the bank. The house is actually a liability to you because you have to pay money out. But what if in case you actually build the house, so you have two apartments downstairs and you live upstairs? And let's say, for example, you were paying the bank $1,000 a month, but these two apartments downstairs is giving you $2,000 a month. Then automatically, your house becomes an asset. It is an asset for you and it is an asset for the bank because you're making money and the bank is making money. So gone are the days when people build houses, traditional houses, which are just total liabilities. And when it comes to cars, I used to love car racing, and I still love car racing. But car racing is really a liability. It costs you. No matter how you go up the track and come back down, it's gonna cost you. Racing fuel could cost you a lot of money. Some part will break and the vehicle will cost you. I'm saying if in case that you're interested in car racing and so forth, the best thing to do is actually have some assets that are bringing money in. And once you have these assets that are bringing you money in, then you could take some of the money and play around with it if in case your love is into vehicles. But too many times you see a lot of men who are into the car racing business, they'll just concentrate strictly on car racing. And I'm not beating down at anybody, but I'm simply trying to educate people to let them know I was doing the same thing also. I was just spending all my money into cars, and I would not even want to ever say how much money it cost me investing into a liability. So, what I'm saying is that we have to think about assets before we think about liabilities. There, even people could be liabilities. You have to be careful with kind of people that you have around you because people can actually be liabilities also. Now, the little politics part. We need people in certain positions who actually are willing to teach the nation about assets and liabilities. We can't leave that information up to the schools. We can't leave it up to the radio station. We can't leave it up to anybody. We have to have leaders who want to see the economy grow. And if in case we have leaders that want to see the economy grow, I'm hoping that these same leaders understand what assets are and liabilities are. And I'm hoping that these leaders would actually be showing to the public that they do understand what assets are and what liabilities are. So, today I touched on what I really wanted to touch on. I mean, I don't want to make the videos too long, but your car, a house, your phone, social media, people, they can both be assets and liabilities. But I'm very much encouraging people to actually think about building your house in a way that you can make money. Do not build the traditional house for yourself. That is selfish, and that would be a liability. When you're building a house, make sure you build a house that you can make money from that house. That's how important it is to actually think on a different level than the traditional way of building a house that costs you money and it's a liability. We don't want liabilities, we only want assets. We want money to work for us. And we need leaders that actually encourage and lead from the front and encourage people and show them, hey, this is how you do it. You actually buy things that can make you money. Lately, I've seen a lot of young men in Montserrat buying buses, and I want to just congratulate these guys because this is a smart idea. While you're driving from one place to the next, you pick up somebody and you make some money. So respect goes out to the guys who are actually changing the way how we do things. Instead of buying a fancy car, you buy something that can make you money. You just want all assets around you. You want no liabilities. Thank you.